Welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Kirsten. I just had a peeling, so if you're wondering which cat scratched her face, it was acid, it wasn't a cat. Today we're talking about books because I love books and I also like to talk about skincare, sustainability, and just anything adulting related. Also, I am still a student, so if you're wondering how should I plan, how to be productive, make sure to subscribe to my channel because that is all that I am talking about. In case you're new to this book club series that I'm doing, every single month I talk about the books that I have read the past month. Sometimes I cheat, I do like the book that I've read 2 months ago, and it's not just one genre that I read. I do fantasy, I do self-help, I do spirituality. I love books about investing because I'm trying to learn more about that. So don't worry if you think that I might only cover one topic, because that is not the case. And today is already episode 5 or 4. That is so cool. We're already at 5 or 4. God knows. And normally I do 5 books, but because I have been moving the past weeks, yes, this is the new location where all my new videos will be uploaded from. I forgot to move some books with me because I forgot that, well, I had read them, but I hadn't covered them in a book club episode. So I'm sorry, it's not as up to date and we're only doing 4, but these 4 are quite something. These are the books that we are talking about today. As I told you, super diverse, so let's get started with the first one, Lotax Life by Alexx Stuart. Lotax Life is kind of your handbook in case you want to become more sustainable, buy more ethical products, stuff like that. And the best thing is that it is divided into 5 chapters, all from your home, your body, your food. So it's really going into those categories. She shares some recipes for face masks. Now, I'm not personally a big fan of DIY skincare. Also, perhaps you have seen my video on skincare ingredients that I avoid. I also talk about this book because the chapter about skincare is fucking mind-blowing. Honestly, if you have any question, if you want to become more involved, if you want to power up your knowledge on these kinds of topics, I think this is a great book. I actually found this because I am a true fan of Sarah's Day. If you are very familiar in the YouTube sphere, I think you know her. Sarah's Day is just a YouTuber that I've been following for years and years and years, and on Instagram sometime last year she spoke about this book, and yeah, I was just intrigued on, okay, so what's in there? And honestly, I've learned so much, especially regarding skincare. I don't really have my own home. I mean, yes, I have my own room now, but it's not like I'm actually choosing furniture, well, like grown-up furniture, and looking at the chemicals of the paint and the dye. So determine for yourself whether or not this is your type of book, but to be honest, I really enjoyed it. It is, yeah, like I said, it's not really like a book, it's more like a handbook. And I love that she starts the book with an explanation of how she became interested in this topic, because she was definitely not living healthy, which surprised me, but obviously, like, it has to come from somewhere that you are suddenly interested in this and write a book about it. So yeah, that is the first book, Lotax Life by Alexx Stuart. Book number 2 is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. I mean, do I still have to mention his name? Who doesn't know The Power of Now? I think a lot of you will know this book. And I'm sorry for getting on the train so late, but I got interested in this book and in what this man has to say because I was listening to one of his episodes with Oprah, the podcast I mean, like, so Oprah Super Soul Conversations, and it was the episode on pain bodies, and that was just so fascinating to me because obviously, like, every human has pain bodies, I guess, gotta be honest. That just really spoke to me, and I was like, okay, but does the book go much deeper into that? Because I want to know more. It does. The book is written in a very funny way because basically it starts with a question and he just answers. There are these signs that he uses for topics that he thinks that you should reflect on and, like, take a break. Let me try to find one of those. So it's kind of like a music key. So this, and so yeah, that basically means, like, okay, stop, take a break, think of what you just read, maybe read it again, maybe take a nap, maybe give me some food. I just really enjoyed this book. When I ordered it, I did not expect it to be this small. I mean, I don't know how many pages it has, but like 190 is not much. And I just expected it because there were so many episodes with Oprah. I just expected it to be a big book, but it does not disappoint. And there's also a second book that I want to read. Again, this is divided into chapters that you don't have to read it from like page 1 to 190. You can just choose your own order. So for example, pain bodies is one of the chapters. So consciousness, the way out of pain, moving deeply into the now, the inner body, enlightened relationships. Whenever he writes about a god, or, well, he mentions God a lot actually, but from the first moment that you read God, he says like, doesn't matter if you believe in a god, it just doesn't matter. And it's also, in my opinion, the English translation is also not like too, you know what I mean? Like too puffy, too, yeah, I think you know what I mean. Like sometimes spiritual books can be too intense. And I've heard that the Dutch translation is quite fluffy. But yeah, I'm reading it in English, but in my opinion, it wasn't that bad at all. And again, this book might also be a good idea to listen to instead of read, because it's not that intense, but then you can like, I have the old school earpods. You can press pause and just reflect and maybe listen to it in the car. But yeah, this is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. I can really recommend it to anyone. Like I said, for me, it was very interesting because of the pain bodies that I was very interested in. I think it's just for everyone. It's very basic. It's not too fluffy. I truly believe what he says about being in the now, meditating, and I really need to meditate more. So yeah, that is book number 2. And then I'm very excited to talk about this book because obviously we all know The Handmaid's Tale. You might have read the book, you might have seen the show, you might have seen the movie. I just recently found out that there's a movie from a long time ago. But this is part 2. And no, it does not follow Offred. In fact, this book follows 3 different women. One, an authority figure in Gilead, one, a girl who grew up in Gilead, and someone who grew up in Canada. So it's very interesting to see the 3 perspectives, because obviously the authority part is much different from the girl who grew up and was raised in Gilead, because car passing, as she's an authoritative figure, she's also much older and she remembers what like America was like. So it's so interesting to see all of those 3 stories, and obviously car passing again. Obviously, those 3 stories are all intertwined, but from the beginning, you're like, how? What is the relationship? This book really, really surprised me. Already with The Handmaid's Tale, I remember being so shocked and also hurt and kind of nauseous from the things that were described in the book. And again, that's also the case with this. Yeah, by now, I mean, we all know what's Gilead called? The Republic? The Republic of Gilead. Republic. Sure. How these stories are intertwined, I'm not going to spoil, but I am going to tell you that these women bring down the Republic. I guess I can also just spoil that it has to do with Aunt Lydia, that she's the authoritative figure that I'm talking about, because that's also on the back of the book. But I'm not going to tell you anything more, because I really think you should read it. I loved it. I mean, do I have to tell anything else? Because it's Republic of Gilead. It's Margaret Atwood. I didn't even mention that she wrote it, but obviously, yeah. This is The Testaments by Margaret Atwood, part 2-ish of the Handmaid's Tale series. I guess you can call it a series. So yeah, that is my opinion on The Testaments. Really, go watch it. It's good. Also, I'd just like to point out that this book club doesn't contain just 4 books because I was too lazy to read, because sometimes I am, but I actually did finish more books. If you're friends on Goodreads, then you can see exactly what I am reading and how fast. If you think that you should read faster, I have a video on how to read more, so make sure to check that out if you are interested. Now, last but not least, Essentialism by Greg McKeown. McKeown. Essentialism. Have you ever found yourself stretched too thin at home or at work? Have you ever felt both overworked and underutilized? Do you ever feel busy but not productive? Do you ever feel like you're constantly in motion but never getting anywhere? If you answered yes to any of these, the way out is becoming an essentialist. Essentialism isn't just a time management strategy, as it says in the book, because this is a kind of like a lifestyle. You really have to believe in it, and you don't just apply it only to work or only to family, but it's a lifestyle, so you really have to apply it to every single aspect of your life. And the best thing about this book is that it gives very, very explicit examples of this is what an essentialist would do, this is what a non-essentialist would do. Just see where you fit in, and yeah, obviously become an essentialist. And luckily, Greg gives us some tips on how to become an essentialist. The book is divided into 4 parts. The essence, what is the core mindset of an essentialist? Then explore, eliminate, because obviously you have to cut out some things in your life to become an essentialist. I really enjoyed actually the part where he said that a list of priorities aren't priorities anymore because you have more than one. There's only one possible priority. That just blew my mind. Last but not least, part 4 is execute, because obviously we all want to partake in this lifestyle. What I really enjoyed about this book is that it's not just dry theory. I mean, obviously it's not a school book, but it's still like kind of serious book. But he actually has helped some awesome people. He helps amazing businesses in Silicon Valley and everywhere on how to become more essentialist. Like an essentialist? To become more essential. No. Anyways, so he incorporates both his own life and his own experiences with his clients, and then the information that he wants you to know. I've been wanting to read this book for such a long time because obviously, like, it's such a staple book to have, at least in the group of friends that I have. So I was kind of the only one who hadn't really read it. And now I finally did. And to be honest, I do consider myself to be an essentialist because I'm very, very straight to the point. I'm Dutch. I write down assignments just very straightforward. I don't like the fluffiness around it. And because I'm super sensitive, which is true, I know that I can't say yes to everything, and I really need to plan and have priorities. But unfortunately, the one thing that I am doing, at least one thing that I am doing wrong, is having more than one priority. So that is still something I need to work on. But yes, that is basically what this book is all about, and I can really recommend it, especially if you really do feel burnt out, if you don't think that you can. I mean, obviously it's not, like, I know that it says that it's not a time management strategy or time management book, but if you read it and implement it in your life, then I really do think that your time management will improve. You're just gonna cut out appointments, meetings, and whatever that don't really make you happy and also are not making you any more productive. You can be the one employee in the company that will take on any task, but people will just dump shit on you and expect you to do it. But are you really going to make it the best possible presentation or whatever you need to do that you can do? Because imagine if you have like 2 hours more and I just didn't realize that the church bell was ringing. But yeah, what I was trying to say is that if you just say no more, you have more time to actually be more productive, get the promotion. So listen to Greg and read this book. Borrow it from a friend. I'm sure that someone in your friend circle has it because all of my friends have. So that was the book club series. I hope that my scratched face wasn't too distracting. Hopefully next time I will be pretty. But thank you so much for joining me. If you have any recommendation regarding books and maybe reading techniques, whatever, let me know in the comments because I really do love to talk about books. I have a lot of conversations with you guys on Instagram about books, but yeah, if you don't have my Instagram or whatever, feel welcome to also leave some reactions in the comments. I would really like it if you would subscribe to my channel because that does help my channel grow. I hope you have a nice day and see you next week because every single Wednesday there's a new video.